Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Sahar Farooq. On behalf of AFAQ online learning platform, I welcome all of you to this video lesson for New Sun series Science Grade 5 Term 1 Unit 2. This video lesson is beneficial for students, teachers as well as parents. But before starting this lesson, I would like to tell you what makes AFAQ unique. Planning is very important before doing any task. That's why AFAQ has planned the whole academic year for you. AFAQ provides academic calendar, suggested timetable and DLPs to cover the content of the whole book. AFAQ has divided the whole academic year into 3 periodic terms. And each periodic term is further divided into 2 periodic units. So, there are total 6 periodic units in whole academic year. Okay students, let's start Unit 2. Our Unit 2 falls in Term 1, Periodic Unit 2, Week 1 to 3 and 3 days of Week 3. The name of our Unit 2 is Microorganisms and we are going to cover 7 SLOs in it. So, in Week 1 of Unit 2, Term 1, we are going to cover 3 SLOs in this week. Moving towards the day 1 of Week 1, Unit 2, Term 1, we are going to cover 1 SLO in this DLP. So students, it's activity time. Look at this picture. What can you see in this picture? Have you seen such organisms in your life? Obviously no, because these are microorganisms. You cannot see them from your naked eye. So students, what are microorganisms? Microorganisms are very small organisms. You cannot see them with your naked eye. The word microorganism is derived from 2 words, micro and organism. Micro means small and organism means living thing. So, microorganism word is combination of 2 words, micro and organism, which means small living things. They are also called microbes. Microorganisms are present all around us, but you cannot see them. How you can see them? You can see them with the help of microscope. This is a picture of microscope. Now we are moving towards the day 2 of week 1, unit 2 and term 1. We are going to cover 1 SLO in this DLP. You have learned about microorganisms. Now we will see how many types of microorganisms are present around us. There are 3 main groups of microorganisms, viruses, bacteria and fungi. Now we will study them one by one. Viruses. What are viruses? Viruses are the smallest microorganisms. They are so small that you cannot see them. The word virus is come from a Latin word which means poison. Viruses have different shapes, as you can see in this picture, different viruses and their different shapes like helical, spherical, polyhedral and complex. Viruses are not living organisms, but they reproduce in living organisms. When they enter in the body of a living organisms, they replicate there and reproduce. The organisms in which virus reproduce is called host. They cause diseases in host. Measles, mumps, hepatitis are viral diseases. Here you can see a wall chart which show the different viruses, like this is the virus of HIV, this is hepatitis virus, this is coronavirus which you may be familiar with it, and this is Ebola virus. Now there is a worksheet with your DLP. What you have to do is look at the pictures and identify the virus. Writes its name in the box. You have seen the picture of different viruses. Here some pictures are shown. You have to identify the virus and write its name in the given boxes, and then you have to write what is a virus. Now solve this worksheet and show it to your teachers. Now we are moving towards the day 3 of week 1, unit 2 and term 1, and we are going to cover the same SLO in this DLP which we have covered in the previous DLP. Now, you have learned about viruses. Now we will see what bacteria are. Bacteria are also small organisms that we cannot see them with the naked eye, but they are bigger than viruses. Bacteria are present all around us and they are unicellular organisms, which means they are made of only one cell. Bacteria can be helpful as well as harmful. Harmful bacteria cause illness. Bacteria have different shapes like round bacteria, spiral, flagella and rod. Different diseases caused by bacteria includes cholera, tooth decay, mouth sores, etc. Now there is a worksheet with this DLP. Look at the pictures and identify the shapes of bacteria. Write its name in the box. You have to identify the shape and write its name in the given boxes, and then you have to define the bacteria. Solve this worksheet and show it to your teachers. Now we will move towards the day 4 of week 1, unit 2 and term 1, and again we are going to cover one SLO in this DLP. You have learned about the two main groups of microorganisms, that is viruses and bacteria. Now we will move towards the third group of microorganisms, that is fungi. Fungi are multicellular organisms, which means they are made of more than one cells. Fungi are found in variety of shapes and sizes. Some fungi are macroscopic like mushrooms, while others are microscopic. Fungi cannot prepare their food. They live in damp places and they absorb nutrients from dead decaying matter of animals and plants. Some fungi cause diseases. Here you can see in these pictures like microscopic fungi growing on a fruit and growing on a vegetable and spoiling those fruit and vegetables, and macroscopic fungi growing on a tree trunk. Here are some flashcards of different fungi, like you can see a mushroom here, a picture of a yeast and some diseases caused by fungi. Now it's activity time. You have to open your textbook page number 35 and solve the activity 2.1 given at that page. Fill in the structural features of given microorganisms in the table. Here, three groups of microorganisms are shown: bacteria, fungi and viruses, and some words are written here. You have to fill this table and show it to your teachers. Now we will move towards the day 5 of week 1, unit 2 and term 1, and we are going to cover one SLO in this DLP. You have learned about the different group of microorganisms. Now we will see the different diseases caused by those microorganisms. The number 1 is measles. We will see what are the symptoms of these diseases. Measles is a viral disease. It is caused by a virus. High fever, runny nose, watery eyes and rashes are some symptoms of measles. Another disease is mumps. Fever, headache and loss of appetite are main symptoms of mumps. Hepatitis is also a viral disease. Fatigue, loss of appetite, abdominal pain and vomiting are the symptoms of hepatitis. Chickenpox, fluid-filled blisters, fever, headache, loss of appetite are some common symptoms of chickenpox. Polio, dengue and COVID are also viral diseases and their symptoms are also given on the book. So read them from the book and come back. Now a worksheet is given with this DLP. Read the symptoms and write the name of disease in the box. Here some boxes are shown where some symptoms are written. You have to read these symptoms, identify the disease and write the name of that disease in the box. Solve this worksheet and show it to your teachers. So students, now we will move towards the week 2 of unit 2 term 1. We are going to cover 4 SLOs in this week. So day 1 week 2 of unit 2 term 1, we are going to cover the same SLO as we have covered in the previous DLP, diseases caused by microorganisms. You have read about some diseases and their symptoms caused by viruses. Now we will see some diseases and their symptoms caused by bacteria and fungi. Cholera is a bacterial disease and its symptoms are watery diarrhea, vomiting and leg cramps. Typhoid is another bacterial disease. Stomach pain, cough, weakness, loss of appetite are its symptoms. Another important bacterial disease is pneumonia. Cough, fever, shortness of breath and chest pain are its some symptoms. Athlete's foot is a fungal disease. Redness, Peeling or cracking of the skin on the feet are its symptoms. Ringworm is another fungal disease in which symptoms are itchy skin, ring-shaped rash, red scaly skin and hair loss. Now it's activity time. You have to open your book, page number 36, and activity is given there. Read the statement. Complete the table by adding type of microbes causing these diseases. Here some names of some diseases are given in this column. You have to write the name of microbe or microorganisms which cause these diseases. Solve this activity and show it to your teachers. So students, before moving on, I would like to ask you a question. Can you name some other diseases caused by microorganisms? Think about it and give its answer to your teachers. Moving towards the day 2 of week 2, unit 2, term 1, we are going to cover 1 SLO in this DLP. Now students, we will see how microorganisms play their role in decomposition. Microorganisms play a vital role in the stability of an ecosystem. How? They decompose dead matter of animals and plants. When animals and plants die, microorganisms act on their bodies, and what they do? They return nutrients back to the environment and maintain energy cycle and keep ecosystem in balance. But sometimes microorganisms, by doing their decomposition activity, harm us. How? They spoil food. Rotten fruit, spoiled milk and mold on breads are some examples of decomposition of microorganisms. Moving towards the day 3 of week 2, unit 2, term 1, we are going to cover 1 SLO in this DLP. Students, we have learned about microorganisms, group of microorganisms and their role in decomposition. Now we will see how microorganisms are advantageous to us. Microorganisms are beneficial. How? Because they aid in digestion. They help us in digestion process. Many useful bacteria live in intestines of humans and animals and help them in digestion. They keep nitrogen in balance. Some nitrogen balancing bacteria are present in soil and they maintain the nitrogen of environment in balance. They also help in making vaccine. Bacteria and other microorganisms are used in making vaccine which provide immunity against diseases. They also help in food production by making different food items like bread. They help in making medicines. Some antibiotics are formed from bacteria and other microorganisms which stop growth of microbes causing diseases. Now a worksheet is given with this DLP. You have to fill the information about these microorganisms. You have to write how microorganisms helps in food production, making vaccine, making medicine, aid in digestion and keep nitrogen in balance. Solve this worksheet and show it to your teachers. It's activity time now. You have to open the textbook page number 38. An activity is given over there. Select 2 microorganisms and tell their industrial importance. You have to select 2 microorganisms of your own choice and then you have to write their industrial importance. Solve this activity and come back. So students, now we will move towards day 4 of week 2, unit 2, term 1, and we are going to cover 1 SLO in this DLP. Students, we have learned about the advantages of microorganisms. Now we will see the disadvantages of microorganisms. Disadvantages of microorganisms include spoilage of food and diseases. Microorganisms spoil food and make it stale for human use. Some microorganisms cause diseases in humans, animals and plants. Disease-causing microorganisms are called germs. They can enter through an opening even from the wounds. Here you can see some pictures of spoiled food and microorganism attacking a plant, that is a loose smut, and a microorganism causing disease in humans, that is herpes zoster. Now it's activity time and you have to open the book page number 39. Here 2 activities are given. In the first activity you have to write the name of microorganisms found or grow on these items. Here some items are given. You have to write the name of microbes that grow or found on these items in the given column. In the next activity, you have to read the statement, which of the following organisms are friendly and which harmful or both. Why are they beneficial or harmful or both? Give reasons. Here some organisms are given, a list of some organisms are given. You have to write whether it is friendly or harmful or both in this column, and then you have to give the reason for your answer in this column. Solve these activities and show it to your teachers. Another activity is given on page number 40. Here a table is given. You have to complete this table, solve this table and show it to your teachers. Now we are moving towards the day 5 of week 2, unit 2, term 1, and we are going to cover one SLO in this DLP. Students, now we will learn what is an infection. When germs attack human body, they cause infection. Some diseases are transferred from person to persons. Those diseases are called infectious diseases. Malaria, dengue, COVID are some infectious diseases. Now we will see how microorganisms transfers into humans. Microorganisms enter human body in different ways. For example, they can enter through direct contact, indirect contact, through air, through water, through contaminated food, through animals or insects, and even through cuts and wounds. Now we will learn about these ways of transfer of microorganisms in humans in detail. Direct contact. How microorganisms enter through direct contact. When a person having a disease touch or shake hands with a healthy person, the microorganisms enter from that unhealthy person to the body of healthy person. The diseases which are transferred through direct contact includes conjunctivitis, herpes zoster and COVID-19. Another way of transfer of microorganisms into body of healthy human body is indirect contact. How microorganisms enter into human body through indirect contact? When a person having a disease touches an object like towel or something else, and when a healthy person touch the same object, the microorganisms from that object enters into the body of healthy person. The diseases that transfer through indirect contact are influenza and diarrhea. Another way of transferring microorganism is air. The diseases that transfer through air are SARS and COVID-19. SARS is a severe acute respiratory syndrome. Similarly, microorganisms can enter through contaminated water. The water that contains the microorganisms, when you drink that water, that disease can be transferred into the body of a healthy person. Hepatitis is a disease that transferred through contaminated water. Now we will move towards the week 3 of unit 2, term 1, and we are going to cover 2 SLOs in this week. Day 1 of week 3, unit 2, term 1, we are going to cover one SLO in this DLP. Students, you have learned about some ways of transfer of diseases into human body. Now we will see some other ways of transfer of microorganisms in human body. Some microorganisms enter in human body through contaminated food. The food which is spoiled or contains microorganisms, when you eat that food, you may get ill. Pinworm is the disease that enters, in which microorganisms enter in the body through contaminated food. Another way of transfer of disease is animal or an insect. Diseases like dengue and Congo are transferred through animals or insects. The virus of dengue is present in the body of mosquito. When that mosquito bites you, that virus transfers into your body and you can get that disease. Diseases can also spread through cuts and wounds. Tetanus is a disease that spread through cuts and wounds. Now a worksheet is given with this DLP. You have to solve this worksheet. You have to write the name of disease that spread these ways. You have to write the name of disease that spread through direct contact or indirect contact, through air, and you have to fill this whole worksheet. Solve this worksheet and show it to your teachers. Now it's activity time. Students, open page number 42 of your textbook and read the statement. Draw charts to show how various diseases are spread and display these posters in the school's corridors. You have to make different charts of showing how various diseases spread and paste those posters in your corridor, school's corridor. Now we are moving towards the day 2 of week 3, unit 2 and term 1, and we are going to cover one SLO in this DLP. So before moving on, I would like to ask you, how will you avoid infection? Think about it, how will you avoid the infections? You have read about different ways of transfer of diseases. Now you must think and write how you can stop those diseases. Write the answer and show it to your teachers. So now we are going to learn different ways to avoid infection. We can avoid infection by washing hands. You must wash your hands before and after having meal. You must wash your hands after using toilet. You must keep food covered. The food we eat must be covered so that microorganisms cannot enter the food. You must use boiled or filtered water so that the diseases that spread through unclean water, you can be safe from those diseases. Keeping it to yourself. If you are having a disease and you become sick, you must keep it to yourself. You must not spread it. You must be confined to a place so that it should be remains to yourself. And be careful about cuts and wounds. If you have a cut or wound, you must properly treat it so that you cannot get those diseases that spread through cuts and wounds. Now here are some ways to keep healthy. What you can do to keep your body healthy? You must eat a variety of healthy food. You must not eat unhealthy food. Inhale fresh air and go for outdoor activities. Go to a physician and have a periodic health check. If you are sick, you must visit a physician and get the treatment of that disease, or you must have a periodic health check so that you may not get any disease. Use face masks. Trim your nails regularly, wash hands before and after meals, and avoid junk foods. Now it's activity time. Open your book, page number 43. Here 2 activities are given. The first activity is you have to give reasons why 2 glasses of milk should be drunk daily and eating too many sweets should be avoided. You have to give the reasons for these statements. And in the next activity, take any food item containing some moisture and keep it in a cabinet. Then observe it after a few days. Fungal will start to form. Discuss with your teacher or classmates possible ways to store feed to keep it safe and fresh for a long time. If you take a food which is having some moisture and you place it in a cabinet, it will get fungus, it will be attacked by microorganisms. So you must find some ways to store food properly so that it will be safe and fresh for a long time. So solve these activities and show it to your teachers. Now we are moving towards the day 3 of week 3, unit 2 and term 1, and in this DLP we are going to solve the exercise. So students, open your textbook, page number 44. A work it out is given. In this work it out, a crossword puzzle is given. Some statements are written here. You have to solve this puzzle and show it to your teachers. Now turn to the next page, page number 45. Exercise is given. You have to solve these exercises. In the first question, you have to choose the correct options. Number 1 is, which of the following diseases is not caused by a virus? Ringworm, hepatitis, mumps and measles. And what is the correct answer? The correct answer is ringworm. It is not caused by a virus. Similarly, solve the other questions. Now question B is, write true or false. First one is, fungi help to keep the balance of nitrogen in the atmosphere. Is it right or wrong? Yes, it is wrong. So you have to write false in this box. Solve the other one as well. On the next page, question C is given and you have to list some ways to avoid infection. Here you have to write some ways to avoid infection. In question number D and E, some questions are given. You have to answer those questions because you have learned all the concepts, so answer these questions. Now turn to the next page, page number 47. A project is given. What you have to do is, you have to prepare a mini booklet. You have to prepare a mini booklet. Procedure and material are given on this page. Follow this procedure and prepare this booklet and show it to your teachers. Students, I hope you have understood all the concepts I have taught you in this video lesson. You must learn these concepts because there will be an assessment in week 6. For now, I will say goodbye and will meet you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.